I've been trading for 6, almost 7 years now. And the biggest lesson that I learned in my journey to profitability is that profitability is not going to come from being really good at technicals. It's not going to come from having a really good strategy. It's going to come from good psychology and good self-representation. What I mean by that is the way that you think about yourself, your day-to-day actions, what you put into your life, the effort that you put in, and the way that you carry yourself. Your actions are a direct reflection of your identity, and your identity is a direct reflection of your actions. And this all stems from the way that you think about yourself. If you walk around and you hate life and you notice all the negatives, then there's no chance in hell you are going to sit and be appreciative for what you have. There's no way that you are going to take advantage of the opportunity that is been given to you. So in trading, if you walk around with this victim mindset, you're not going to do what's necessary to become profitable. You're not going to look at a loss as a chance to learn. You're going to look at it as a victim. You're going to be upset. You're going to let it hurt you. And when you let it hurt you, all you're doing is tying a negative subconscious state with that loss, with taking a loss. So the next day when you wake up to trade, you are going to have a subconscious fear of going through that same pain. This isn't something you control. This is all your subconscious. 90% of your day, your subconscious is running. 10% is your conscious brain. So when we tie these negative emotions, our subconscious is going to recognize that, and then it's going to then correlate a negative feeling with whatever your action was. In this case, you'll be losing. So now you're going to be so scared of losing for the future. So you are then going to get on the charts the next day, make bad decisions in correlation to you not wanting to have that same emotion or same feeling that you had because your subconscious is scared. I learned very early on that trading is just a game of mastering your brain. Once you master your brain, once you master and you start to control your thoughts, then everything is going to change. What do I mean by that? Well, we all have egos. That's the biggest issue. Especially in trading, we all have egos. And this gets in the way from us doing what we are supposed to do. So let's just say I take a loss, right? And I have a little bit of an ego. Every trader has an ego. I take a loss, but I'm not going to journal my trade because I don't want to confront the loss and the mistake that I just made because it's going to hurt my ego. We need to put our egos to the side. I see so many traders not make it in trading strictly because of their ego. We can tie our ego to 1,000 different examples in trading and how it's ruining us. And I actually just made a video on that. If we're gonna look at it from a technical analysis side, here's my take, my honest take. It may be a hot take, but I think if you go into the market every day with I think that if you go into the market every day with a daily bias, then you are setting yourself up for failure. Why? Because when we tell ourselves, oh, I want to see something and I'm not going to trade unless I don't get that something, we're then tying an emotional connection with what we want to see. But when the market opens and let's just say something else happens, we are still tied to our original bias. We tied an emotional connection to that, so we aren't going to trade unless we get that. So the market could be telling us completely different. We could be completely wrong on our bias, but since we're so emotionally attached to what we think is going to happen, we are not going to change our bias. We are going to sit and we are going to wait until we get just a couple of hints or just a couple of confluences that are going to tell us that our bias is right. And we are ignoring the overall sentiment and the way the market is moving. Our ego is not adjusting to what is actually being shown to us. Our ego is still playing off of what we want to see, and it will not change. Our bias will not change with correlation to whatever the market is doing, strictly because we want to feel right. As humans, we love to be right, and we hate when we are wrong because it messes with our ego. So when we are wrong, we think of ourselves as a bad trader. We think of ourselves as a failure, or we failed today, or we had it wrong, and that hurts our ego. So you probably sit and you stick to your bias just to fill your subconscious need of being right. So it fills up and it boosts up your ego so you feel good about yourself at the end of the day. Whatever, ego, big issue in trading. You need to realize who you are. You need to realize how much more room for improvement there is for you. Me, I've again been trading 6, almost 7 years now. I'm still learning. I am still trying to study the market. I'm still trying to take things in that I have not took in before. I'm always trying to get better. What I see with a lot of you guys is You think you know it all. You think you're good. You think you have a really good strategy. Half the time the strategy is not even back tested. You don't even have data to look back on. And then you get into the markets, you take a loss, and then you revenge trade everything away. Why do we revenge trade? Again, identity and ego. If you revenge trade, you do not have self-respect for yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. If we break down to the root of it, why do we revenge trade? Because we don't want to see the red. We don't want to be at a loss for the day. Even though, again, you should just be taking that loss in journaling, but your ego doesn't want to confront that because it's going to hurt the way that you think about yourself. So what we do is we see that red P&L and we say, no way. We are going to make our money back, so we are green on the day because that is what you guys framed as successful. Even though learning should be your main priority this early on in trading, a successful day is not a green day if you cheated your way there. And a bad day is not a red day if you took a good trade, had implemented your system the right way, followed your rules, X, Y, and Z. I went $100,000 into the pit and I didn't stop. That was my issue, is I couldn't stop. All I did was lose, revenge trade, try and make my money back, and I was inside of an ongoing loop that I couldn't get out of. It felt impossible. It felt like I was never going to get out of it. I had no respect for myself, so this would then lead me to make decisions on the chart that showed I had no respect for myself, and eventually I changed that, right? I was $100,000, like I said, in debt, made that $100,000 back, and now I'm doing extremely well for myself. I'm not gonna sit here and do the ego thing and act like I'm the man or whatever, but I'm fortunate. I'm happy about the position that I'm in. But I was in the trenches. I was going through it all, and the way that I got out of my bad psychology loop and my addiction of gambling / trading / revenge trading was by changing my day-to-day, was by building respect for myself. You're never going to have respect for yourself if you sit around nicotine, weed, bad diet, not going to the gym. These are all things that you need to be implementing, because if you do this consistently, if you do this every day, you are then going to think of yourself in a better manner. You're going to respect yourself more, and you're going to get on the charts and you're going to trade as if you have respect for yourself. I realized before I did this stuff, before I started elevating my outside life in trading, my results on the charts were direct reflections of what my outside life looked like. Once I changed my outside life and I started doing better, I started doing the things I needed to do to become a man, my trading directly changed, because when I took a loss, I looked at it as an opportunity to learn. I didn't look at life in such a negative manner. I looked at it as an opportunity to learn. I was very positive. Even when I was having bad losing streaks, whatever, it was just a chance for me to get better. I stopped tying my identity so much to the idea of money. I stopped caring about the money. I started focusing more on the process, because when your whole goal is money, then every single time you get on the charts, your whole goal is going to be to make money. It's never going to be to better yourself. And that was a big thing that I changed, like I was just talking about. When I took the loss, I journaled it. I learned from it, and then I moved on. I now have learned, and I now have taken up some sort of positive that I could have been negative. And that's the issue where all you guys are going wrong. You guys see an L, very negative to you. You pout about it. You frame a negative bias. You frame a negative emotion to taking that loss, because it then gets tied to the future of you trading. And then you fall into this bad psychological loop, and then you revenge trade. And the thing is about revenge trading, the more you do it, the more you're going to fall back on it, because our brains love the idea of being comfortable. We love comfortability as humans. So the more that we do something, the more we are going to fall back on it. So if you revenge trade just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's going to be something that you then default to. You are then going to fall into this loop. And this was what I was victim to. I fell into that loop. I didn't make a change. And next thing you know, I was down $100,000, and that's the last thing that I want for anybody. It's going to take change to make change, and if you're not willing to put in the effort to change the way that you think, to change the way that you work, to change your day-to-day activities, then you're not going to become profitable. Trading is a game of survival of the fittest. Trading is a game of what you do on the outside, because it directly correlates to the inside. Make it a requirement that you make a change, or else you're not going to see anything change on the charts. Your effort outside of the charts is a direct reflection of what your results are going to look like inside of them. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you check out my other videos. Follow me on Instagram at Nate_trades. Shoot me a DM. I'd love to talk to you guys and see if we can fix something in your system. Maybe you have a bad strategy or bad psych. I'd love to help you guys with that. Make sure to reach out. Appreciate it.